What is good, ladies and gentlemen? As you know, I just finished the Kakarot DLC. As you can see right now, rolling with the ending credits. Massive work by CC. This studio is just phenomenal at their job when it comes to animations and things like that. I really enjoyed this DLC, and I want to go ahead and break it down for you guys into some parts. So we have the story, and then we have the gameplay, and we have the music and sound design. I always like to add that in there. In the overall, score of the game. So let's go ahead and get on into this. So the story of Diama, or story of Kakarot, is basically, everybody knows, is Dragon Ball Diama, the show, right? And so what that means for us is that we get to experience the show in little increment moments and increment battles. I would say this was 4 hours long story, 4 hour plus, depending on if you do all the side missions and things like that. And I think that it really benefited doing the training and stuff like that. What I will say when it comes to the story, they really did a great job of capturing the show, because I hadn't really watched the show in a while, and watching Kakarot, I was like, oh, I was like really embodied in the show. And that's one thing that Kakarot always had its hand in, making us feel like we're actually in the show, or playing the show, or playing the anime, right? So with the story, we have the the start of it. They get turned into kids, yada yada, and that is a part of the prologue. But they actually start you off in the demon world, and you get launched into the the grand world of things, where they come off their little plane, and you go and take your journey on with Glorio, or Glorizero, or whatever. Goku, we messing up his name, and Shin, and Pansy comes along for the ride. Glorio and Shin are actually your companions as you fight, like every battle. They're there with you, and they actually do a pretty good job of helping you out. The actual enemies, though, in the game, they're all around, and this really ties into the story, because it showed how well that it showed how active Daima was. Really, in my opinion, Kakarot showed that along their journey, this is probably the things that they went through. I think that Daima in the show kind of like slow paced it a little bit, but Kakarot made it a little bit fast paced. I don't know, I felt like, obviously it's fast paced, it's not gonna be the show, right? But I'm saying, like, especially through the battles and on your journey, it didn't feel tedious to fight. It didn't feel tedious to explore. It felt really good, and they tied that into the story with the cutscenes and things like that. And the cutscenes actually weren't that bad in this DLC compared to the actual game and other DLCs itself. So I think that it was a really good up on their part when it comes to the story. They really did the story really well. I love the voice acting, the animation on the Tamagami fight. Oh my gosh, that was like wicked. They really nailed it. Even the Glorio's animations when you were fighting him as a boss fight was really cool, man. I was just really excited of how they captured that element. I was really excited and just intrigued. I don't know the words to say. This is fresh off the review, the game. So with that being said, the story aspect of it, I'm giving that a solid 9 out of 10. The only thing I didn't like with some of it is some of the cutscenes, even though they were good, they didn't really play a purpose in the overall story. They kind of, I guess they just were trying to serve the game. I gotta go back to the ones I was thinking of, but other than that, it wasn't bad at all. They really captured Daima's story really well for this part 1, and bro, part 2 gotta be sick. So moving on into the gameplay, all right? The gameplay for this is the ground mechanics much more fluid than 23rd Tenkaichi Tournament, more so because I think 23rd Tenkaichi Tournament had less space. We had less space to work with. It was just the tournament stage. This one is a whole vast world, and getting into that part, this is a true DLC, guys. This is a true expansion pack like DLC. This is not the DLCs that they used to drop earlier with just the future trunks or whatever, yada. This is a true DLC, an expansion of the world, and something that I think they can end off with in part 2. For me, the gameplay for every single fight was fun, unique, and you can mix up your combos in very unique ways. You can even toss them in the air and do stuff like that and use Kamehamehas. Even the training grounds was much more challenging than most of the other, even the main game. Much more challenging. Felt much more rewarding to get those the moves that you wanted, and the transformations, like I said, tying into the animation and stuff like that, when he transforms and he gets that animation where when he's Super Saiyan and he dashes forward and stuff like that, just makes the gameplay so much more fun, right? It just makes it so much more fun. It's so fluid, so fun. I didn't have any problems with the gameplay. I loved all the moves, the intensive staff, the ultimate rock paper scissors, the super kamehameha, the spirit bomb. Dude, we get to throw a spirit bomb. I don't like that they actually, you know, revert back to his normal form, but still, it's such a cool move to use that spirit bomb in Diama. I don't think he ever used that in the show, right? So I think it was really cool that they added that in there. That was a really cool aspect. The actual map size isn't too big, but the actual map size isn't too big, but they do have like pillars and stuff where you can launch off of, and that will take you into you know, different sections of the map where you can collect items and go into the caves, and there's even gold and purple chests that you guys need to go through, because some of them give you D medals and some of them give you rare items that you can sell for money and stuff like that. I remember I got like 500k Zenny just by selling a couple of them, right? And you also have a lot of different items as well, like intense demon water and stuff like that. They're the same thing as like the sacred water and stuff like that from the other DLCs and stuff like that. But you also have this one Kakusa bug, I think it is called, that repels enemies and things like that. Just different other mechanics that they add in the game. They really did a good job. They did a good job of just making it feel new, to get back into Kakarot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really excited for that. Moving on from the gameplay, the music really well. It's the same, most of the same music right from the main game, but they do have their own original stuff for this DLC that I was hearing, and I think it was really good during the boss fights with the Tamagami and Gloria and things like that. Sound design was really good. The way the pole whacks, the way you know, he's fighting, the punches and stuff like that, when he's dashing forward, that sounds like a toom, 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 toom. Like, it sounds really cool. Like, they really do a really good job of making you and immersed into that world. They keep playing this copyright music. They really do a really good job of making you immerse into that world. So I really appreciate them. The music sound design section was really short because it's a short DLC, but it was good. No issues on that part either. So now, what is my final score on this DLC? This DLC, and you guys are gonna be so surprised at this, because yeah, if you go back to the way I rated the other DLCs, you're gonna be so surprised, because even the one I really liked, which is Power Awakens Part 2, I didn't even think I rated it this high. This Kakarot Part 1 DLC is a 9.5 out of 10, guys. I can't recommend it enough. Now, what I will say though, it's kind of tricky with this one because of the way that they marketed it. I still say get the season pass, and if you want to wait for part 2, play it through, because I feel like it'll be so much cooler if you play it through. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be so much cooler if you play it through, but it's worth getting part 1. I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit short. You can take your time with it, but I recommend getting part 1, guys. I really do recommend getting part 1. It's their best DLC they have right now of all time of Kakarot's thing. It's right behind it is Power Awakens Part 2 for me. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. This was the end of my review. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys liked the breakdown and everything. Story, gameplay, final review. 9.5 out of 10. Peace.